Buongiorno a tutti! Today we're going to tackle something that often confuses Italian learners. Those tricky words end in a, Italian a, but are actually masculine. Yes, you heard that right. These words look feminine because they end in a, in Italiano a, but they are masculine. And if you don't know this can be very confusing when you see them used in real life in Italian. So today I'm going to show you 5 common words of this type that you really need to know. And I'm also going to share with you the reason why these are exceptions. Because I do strongly believe that if you understand the reason behind something, especially Italian grammar, it will make more sense, and that means that it will be easier for you to remember. So I'm going to explain why these are not really feminine words. Before we start, if you want to expand your vocabulary with these insider tips, then make sure to subscribe to my channel and enable notifications. You will get fresh lessons that focus on the real practical Italian you really need. And at the end of the video, don't forget to let me know which word surprised you the most in a comment. Ok, iniziamo. Let's begin. So let's look at these 5 common false feminine words in Italian. I call them false feminine because they do look feminine, they end in a, but they are actually masculine. The first most common, the one that surprises the students the most, is the word problema. And we do not say la problema, we say il problema, because problema is masculine. So let's see this in a sentence. Let's suppose you want to say, we need to solve this problem. In this case, we would say, dobbiamo risolvere. We have to solve questo problema. And I know that's surprising, but questo is correct, even though questo is masculine, because problema looks feminine, but it's not, it's masculine. So dobbiamo risolvere questo problema. Now, in real life, if you happen to hear like something like this, like questo problema, that's your clue that problema is masculine. That's your clue that something different than expected is happening. Because when, as I always say, the noun is the king or the queen of the sentence, and that will be the one that will dictate the gender of the accompanying words. So if you hear questo problema, assuming of course that's being said by a native speaker who speaks Italian correctly, but if you hear questo problema, that means the problema is masculine, even if it doesn't look like that, because questo needs to match the gender and number of the noun. Now, if you have never heard me talking about the queen or the king of the sentence when talking about the noun, and if you're confused about what nouns are, what adjectives are, no problem, I have a dedicated video on this topic that I really recommend you watch if you haven't, because it will clarify all these terms and all the foundational points of Italian grammar, like noun, adjective, article, and the agreement between all of them. So I will link the link in the description below this video. Okay, let's go back to the false feminine nouns. Il problema, remember, that's what it is. Another one like this is programma, which means program or schedule in Italian. Programma, despite ending in a, is masculine, so it's il programma. Now, let's suppose we want to say the TV program starts at 8. How would you say that? Il programma TV, or il programma, you can also say il programma televisivo, that means a television program. Il programma televisivo. Notice il masculine, televisivo masculine. Why? Because programma is masculine, even if it doesn't look like that. So il programma televisivo inizia alle 8. Il programma televisivo inizia alle 8. Let's see another one that's exactly the same as programma and problema, and that's the word sistema. Sistema means system, but it is masculine. So it's il sistema. Per esempio, the Italian school system is different. That would be il sistema scolastico italiano è diverso. And I picked this phrase on purpose because, look, you have 3 different adjectives. Scolastico, italiano, diverso. They are all masculine. Every one of those adjectives is telling you sistema is masculine, even though it doesn't look like that. So sistema is one of those other words. Now, I want to give you a bonus grammar tip because I want to make this knowledge really actionable for you. What if you need to use these words in the plural? How do they work in the plural? Well, that's interesting. When used in the plural, they go back to the normal rule of masculine plural. So, problema, sistema, and programma will make the plural with I. So, il problema will become I problemi. Il programma will become I programmi. And il sistema will become I sistemi. Va bene? So remember, these words that look feminine in the singular but are masculine will always use masculine article, masculine adjective, but when you use them in the plural, they will look like normal masculine words. So they will make the plural with I. So, why are these words masculine, even if they don't look like that? Well, many of them, like exactly these 3 words, problema, sistema, and programma, come from ancient Greek or Latin, where they had a neutral gender. Now, when these words entered the Italian language, they were assigned the masculine gender since Italian doesn't have a neutral form. So there you have it. That's your reason. And I hope that's going to help you remember these exceptions. Also, remember that if you want to easily review these words and the examples, you can download the PDF that I prepared for you for this lesson. And the link, as always, is in the description. Okay, I have 2 more words for you. And the next word is the word for movie theater. Come si dice movie theater in italiano? Si dice il cinema. Ah, il cinema. It's not la cinema, il cinema. So, for example, if you want to say the movie theater is closed today, how will you say that? Think about the adjective for closed. Il cinema è chiuso oggi. Sì, il cinema è chiuso, not chiusa, chiuso oggi. So, il cinema is another of those tricky words. Now, the reason why il cinema is not really feminine, but it's masculine, it's actually different from the previous ones, and to me is a kind of a funny note. You have to know that cinema is not the complete word for movie theater. This is the complete word for movie theater, the original Italian word for movie theater. Cinematografo. That was the original Italian word for movie theater in Italian, which is the kind of the older great-grandma style of saying movie theater. So as you can see, the real original word is masculine because it ends in O, cinematografo. But then we didn't like to say that every time. It's a kind of a mouthful, so we shortened that to cinema. But that didn't change the gender. It stayed masculine. That's also the reason why if you want to use cinema in the plural form, it will stay the same because it's a shortened form. So you don't make it cineme, cinemi. You just say I cinema because it would be I cinematografi, but no one has time for that. So we shorten that to I cinema. Va bene? By the way, I talk about other words like cinema that look different just because they are used in the shortened form in another video. I will link the link in the description for that as well. Okay, and finally, the last word, la parola numero 5, which I think is the weirdest one. but it's very, very common, so I really want you to learn that and to know it. And that word is a word for weekend. Now, I know that nowadays we Italian people like to say il weekend, because we want to sound cool, but we do have an Italian word for weekend, and that word is, I'm going to tell you first, that word is fine settimana. Now, fine settimana, feminine, right? No, of course not. It's il fine settimana. That's how it is. And I know this is weird, but that's how it is. And it's especially weird, I always explain this to students, because fine means end, and it's feminine in Italian. La fine means the end. Settimana means week, and it's feminine. La settimana. So these two words, sorry, I forgot the these two words are feminine. La fine, la settimana. But when you put them together in one word, they become masculine. And why is that? Well, that's because fine settimana is a compound word. It's a word made of two words. When we don't have many compound words in Italian, but when we do have them, the few that we have, they are usually masculine. So compound words are usually masculine in Italian. That's the reason why il fine settimana is masculine. So let me show you one example sentence with fine settimana. Let's suppose we want to say, I like to go for a walk in the weekend. That in Italian would be mi piace fare let me show you it better. Mi piace fare una passeggiata nel fine settimana. Perfetto. So remember, sometimes even if a word ends in a, it doesn't automatically make it feminine. Train yourself to look at or to listen to the words that accompany a noun, because they will be the clues of the gender of that noun. But now you know these 5 very common words that are essential if you want to speak Italian correctly. So start using them immediately. That's how you memorize them. Leave a comment below with a sentence using the one word that surprised you the most. I always read all your comments. And if you want more tips to master the Italian language, then subscribe to my channel and enable notifications for new lessons every week that help you make sense of this language. And we're going to see each other in the next video, so until next week, have a great day. Buona giornata. Ciao da Valentina.